Hey guys, Shane here again with One Shift at a Time, and we're back. NHL Power Rankings. We're into week 3 already as the season just starts to fly by. Insane. Crazy hockey, lots of news in the NHL. Try not to touch on too much of it, just going to concentrate on the Power Rankings. I do have the NFL Power Rankings coming out on Monday, and I am going to try and get a meme review going to review some NHL memes. So, see how that goes. Anyway, starting right off with number 10, we have the San Jose Sharks. And they had a great win last night. And honestly, I had it, whoever won that game was going to get the number 10 spot between them and the Jets. I definitely couldn't give it to the Jets after they were beaten by the San Jose Sharks. Honestly, it was pretty close to being the Barracuda as the Sharks were ravaged with the COVID protocols, and they were missing, I believe, 9 guys. Their head coach, they did not have a lot of people on the ice, and they still managed to pick up a win against Winnipeg, which is also kind of scary for Winnipeg, who has been playing some decent hockey this year. Sharks are right back at it as they go against the Buffalo Sabres in a battle of teams that were not actually supposed to be doing very good. So let's see how that goes. Number 9, and they're down 4 spots, but they're holding on, sticking in the top 10 so far. That's the Minnesota Wild. They lost 2 in a row, and they darn near got knocked right out of the top 10. But I kept them in there for now, because it was Colorado. Colorado came alive last night. They started to look like the Colorado of before that was a contender. And the Wild kind of played not too bad. Talbot let a couple in that he maybe didn't want to, but other than that, he's been playing some good hockey and really helping Minnesota to the place they are, because they're not scoring. Their leading scorer in 8 games has 4 goals. That's not good. That's not going to win you a lot of games. So they're looking to bounce back as they face the Ottawa Senators, who've been playing, I think, better hockey than their record shows, but we'll see. They're due for a win, that's for sure. Number 8, and cracking the top 10, we have the New York Rangers. They had a tough loss to Calgary, but good bounce back against a really hot team in the Columbus Blue Jackets. So, again, the Rangers are playing some good hockey. I don't see them being too worried. They look to keep things rolling as they take on the Kraken today, a little later today. I'm filming this on a Sunday. Normally I like to do it Saturday, but I worked yesterday. So Adam Fox leads the team, and he's got 1 goal, 7 assists for 8 points. Number 7, and moving back up a little bit, they're still the surprising Buffalo Sabres. Still seems weird that they've been in the power rankings, 3 weeks in a row now. But here they are, 5-1-1 to start the season. It's tough to complain when you've won games like that. They won against Tampa Bay and Anaheim this week, so those were both good wins, and they're up against the Kings and the Sharks. So the Sharks are going to be a huge test, as the Sharks, as I said, are playing really good hockey. It's going to matter whether they get a lot of their players back before this game takes place. If they don't get their players back, I don't know. We'll have to see. Number 6, and finally moving up after 2 weeks at number 10, we got the Washington Capitals. And they are led by a man on a mission, Alexander Ovechkin. He's off to his best start of his career. How scary is that? He has had an amazing career, and this is the best he's ever played. That is pretty scary. He's got 9 goals, 6 assists, 15 points in 8 games. Wow. There's somebody better, but that's pretty impressive. The Capitals have also yet to lose in regulation. They've lost 3 times, but all 3 losses have been in overtime. They travel to Tampa to take on the Lightning tomorrow, and we'll see if the Ovi and Caps can just keep on rolling. And in 5th place, we got the St. Louis Blues. They're 6-1, great start. I had them high throughout the week, but kind of had to drop them a little. They did lose to Colorado, and again, that doesn't really say a lot because Colorado is starting to play a lot better. But then they only win 1-0 over Chicago. That's concerning because Chicago is definitely one of, if not the worst team in the NHL. And Toronto losing to them was one thing, but you really don't want to see yourself only beat them 1-0, especially with everything they're going through. They're going to have to go through the California now as they play the Kings, the Sharks, and the Ducks. And that road trip has historically not been great to St. Louis. So we'll see how that goes. number 4, and just launching up the power rankings. Into 4th, we have the Calgary Flames, and wow, this is actually a pretty scary team, and I usually give them a bit of hard time because they are my team, and I give them a bit of a rough go, but they're playing good in all 3 phases right now. High scoring, they're the highest scoring first period team in the NHL, and with 29 goals in 8 games, they are in 3rd in the whole NHL for scoring throughout the whole game. So you add that to Markstrom, who now has shutouts in 3 of his last 4 games. That's pretty scary combination. There's also the fact that Calgary has not been behind or trailed in a game since the very first game against the Edmonton Oilers. They did lose game 2 against the Ducks, but they were winning the whole time. They only lost in overtime. So yeah, they've not been trailing in regulation since the first game of the season. That's kind of crazy. They're looking to keep that going as they take on the Nashville Predators. Number 3, down 2 spots. They did have that loss to the Flyers. They bounced back against the Canucks, and that is, of course, the Edmonton Oilers. 2-1 win against the Canucks last night. Probably should have been 2-0, but you know, they had to crack Gosselin's shutout with like 5 or 6 seconds left in the game. McDavid does OV just a little bit better. He's got 7 goals, 9 assists, 16 points in just 7 games, so a game less, and he's still got more points. The guy's on a mission, and honestly, he could have got a hat trick easily last night. Demko just seemed to have his number. He had some great chances, and Demko just continued to shut the door. So we'll see how they go as they welcome the Kraken tomorrow. Number 2. Not sure where to start with this one. I'm going to try, as I said, to just keep to the hockey and try and leave the off-ice stuff out. But with the Florida Panthers, they did drop their first game of the season after losing Joel Quenneville as the coach. That's, as I said, all I'd like to get into that one. So it wasn't an OT loss, so they are still undefeated in regulation. They still got the point out of it. So I think it's looking really good. They welcome the Capitals on Thursday. That's going to be a huge game, and we're really going to see whether Florida can keep it up without Joel behind the bench. And number 1, the only undefeated team left in the league. I do my stats ending Saturday night, but they played this morning. They've already won again, so they're now 7-0-0. They played Arizona and the Blackhawks though, so they kind of did have a bit of an easier week this week. They do play the Blackhawks again coming up, so they could easily go 8-0, but then they do battle the Panthers and the Bolts. So those are going to be 2 tough games that are really going to let us know about the Carolina Hurricanes. Though I think they're good. I think they're for real. Svechnikov, he leads the way. He's got 7 goals and 4 assists for 11 points. Once again, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. Leave yours down there in the comments. I'd like to know what you think, maybe even just top 3 are. And what I got wrong, of course. If you did like it, please hit the like button, subscribe, share this thing around. And as always, you guys take care. We'll see you in the next episode.